If you have young kids at this moment, babies, toddlers, true nap time empires mode, I'm recording this to let you know from a glimpse from the future, as I have a beautiful cross section right now. I've got a sixth grader, a tween, an elementary schooler in second grade, and then my almost three-nager is in preschool. And it's wild to witness each of these stages of human development simultaneously. I say in the book that you haven't read yet because I still am finishing it. It's like looking at a sliver of a sedimentary rock. Like in elementary school, we would see the sedimentary rock sample, and you can see like all what was going on in these different time periods simultaneously. And it's a beautiful thing. My kids are about 4.5 years on average apart. But I'm just reflecting on the fact that I I still want to be available in ready position. I used to play volleyball, and I think about how you're like, if you could just picture your feet are apart, one foot slightly, hip width apart, one foot slightly in front, and you've got your arms like you're bending your knees, but you're kind of on the balls of your feet, and your arms are apart, not together, because you need to be able to shuffle to the right, to the left, a little cupid shuffle action to be in ready position wherever the ball may go, wherever you need to go to keep it from hitting the ground. And that's how I feel I want to be available in parenting as my kids are going and growing, which is going to be another at least 15 years in my household, just because of the beauty of how these kids are spaced. I'm going to have kiddos living with me for a long, long time to come. And I know even that long time will go in a blink because it's wild to me that one is already in middle school. But I'm just sharing this because it's not like I used to think, right? And I've shared this before about when Bryson outgrew his first batch of newborn clothes or 0 to 3 month clothes, and I was packing them away and realizing, oh my gosh, he's growing so fast. It's like while you're in it, especially when it's your first time, part of you thinks this is just how it's going to be, and you don't realize it's a phase and it's going to pass. And I don't mean it from the soak it up every moment, la la la. I don't mean it from that, but it's just like time passes, and it's kind of like when you're driving somewhere for the first time, or even walking to the bathroom in a restaurant for the first time, and you don't know where you're going. It seems like it takes longer. Then once you know where you're going, it doesn't take you long to find your seat or to find your way back home or whatever. Like the first trip, the first time there, it seems like it's taking longer because you're on high alert. Everything is new. And it seems like because you need to be aware. But then second, third time around, you're like, I got this. I know where I'm going. It doesn't seem like it's that long of a deal. And that's what I'm saying here with, especially with 3 kids. I'm like, whoa, okay. It's like they're growing at 1x, 2x, and 3x speed here. And it is a lifetime in a blink, right? But what's my point? It doesn't change just because my oldest is no longer taking naps. He was my original nap time empire guy. And then my second is the one who his arrival sparked a huge values shift for me, which is then what led me to actually start leading the nap time empires conversation. And then my third and final season of Naptime Empire's life, and though he has just been so hashtag on her terms, just really thinking about what do I want to add back onto my plate. But for every single one of them, when they have things that they care about that matter to them, whether it's in a day or a season, for example, with basketball leagues and things, I want to be able to be available. Or I've shared in previous podcasts that we had so many colds and medical emergencies actually in the last school year that I wanted to be able to be available. Was it frustrating? Was it exhausting? Yes, but would I change any of that? No. Would I want to outsource that to anyone else? No. Do I need more systems, and have I put more systems and support systems in place just in case that kind of stuff hits the fan again? Yeah, for sure. I'm learning from it. But I know I want to be able to be in that ready position for my kids for the near and distant future. And then think about like, when is that even going to end? Because then they're going to grow and go to college or start their jobs and their careers or their businesses or whatever it is that they decide to do. And then they'll go and grow and possibly start their own families. And maybe they won't be within driving or close driving distance. Technically, everything on this continent is within driving distance. But I'm always going to want to be able to be available to them. It's not going to change. So I'm sharing that just so you can think long term. the challenges of parenting, it's not like it gets easier or harder. I wouldn't say yet. I mean, I know I'm only 12 years deep, but I wouldn't say it gets harder or easier. It's changing, it's transforming, and it is the ride of a lifetime for someone who loves studying personal development. I mean, what in relationships and creativity, like what better way than to be able to facilitate the growth and development of these humans that I get to do life with. So every day there's little as there'll ever be. And each phase has really cool, fascinating, fun conversations. I remember talking with my oldest sometime in the last few years about how I've never been a mom before. Like, we just had a very sweet conversation. I was like, dude, I'm learning with you. I've never been a mom before. Like, I know that you were born and I was a mom. So you just assume, like, well, she's always been a mom. But really think about it. I wasn't a mom until you got here. And so I'm learning as we go and grow. And my parenting styles have changed so much over the decade, with each of them and what's been going on in my own life and being and all of that. And I'm youngest of four, so I understand that, or I understood that logically with my mind, but I can really see, especially if I'm even just listening back to videos and audios from 10 years ago of how I was with him versus 2 kids later. So anyway, just wanted to reflect on that. As you're designing your business and you're designing your days, if you think that just because they're in school one day, you're actually going to want to be less available. And it's not that you think you're going to want to be less available, but maybe you think your time will be freed up. I'm just saying, watch out, field notes, look out up ahead, because there will be other things that you'll want to be hands-on and present for. No, it's not diaper changing and feeding necessarily, as you may have done, but you'll still want to physically be there for certain things that are actually really fun and inspiring, because it's like what they're interested in and what they feel sparky about. And there's lots of goodness to come. So that's all. That's all I'm saying. Just a little stamp in the ground here as we enter middle school ages. I'm sure there's going to be many more lessons, many more to come as we enter teenage years and driving and all of that. But for now, I'm just reflecting on knowing for sure that no matter what I do in designing my days, my offers, my business, I know I want to be available. That is a high priority. Doesn't mean I want to be with them all the time. Heaven knows. It does not mean I want to be with them all the time, but I am certainly very, very grateful that I can be with them for the things that count. All right. That's all. Hope it resonates. Let me know. Hit the comment box, and I'll meet you back here soon. Okay, technically that was the end of the episode, but since you're still here, 1, I'd love to thank you for spending part of your day with me, and 2, I'd love to ask you if you would take 30 seconds, maybe 60, to leave a rating and review in your podcast app before you tap out today. If you've already done that, it's amazing. Please send me a screenshot so I can thank you personally, and know that sharing this episode with a friend has the same magical powers, and I deeply appreciate both. Also, in case you're listening to the end to see if I ever actually introduce myself, hi! My name is Nikki Elledge Brown. I'm the host and author of Naptime Empires and this here On Her Terms podcast. You can find me around the internet at Nikki Elledge Brown in most places, but what you may appreciate most is actually over at onherterms.com. It's what I call the insider library. It's where you can get inside scoop, first listen rights, email updates every time there's a new episode, and then special insider only bonus content. It's all over in our private feed. Okay, that's a wrap for real. I'll meet you in the next episode.